What's up guys, it is Chris back with another watch video, and today we have Hemel on the channel. Hemel are a brand that I've featured a few times here on Watch Chris, mostly pilot's watches. Today I have a dive watch. It's a 300-meter dive watch, really well made, has a Miyota movement inside, 9000 series, as you guys know I love, and it is called the Sea Dart. Very cool inspiration behind this watch. Let's turn the camera and take a look. Hemel are a US brand, so they're located here in the United States. They're actually located in New York, where I am from, and this is their new Sea Dart, as I mentioned in the intro. This is a dive watch with vintage inspiration. All of their watches, I believe all of their watches, are sort of named after airplanes, so I believe the Sea Dart is an airplane. If I am wrong, I will put a comment down below, but if I am right, I'll throw up a picture of that airplane so you can see what it is. This watch comes in the exact same packaging that all other Hemels that I have reviewed on the channel come in. So you have that little cigar sort of sticker here that is sealing the box, but I have broken that seal just to check out the watch. And you always get little goodies inside of a Hemel box. So they have sent over a pin with the Hemel H. Then there is a patch, is a Velcro patch with the Hemel H. Then you have Air Force and Hemel. Pretty cool. Then there's always stickers, so there's 3 stickers in here as well. Very cool. They just give you a little something extra. Not bad to get a little something extra. And then of course, here is the watch. So when I first saw the watch, I immediately thought, wow, that is a very good looking watch. I really usually do not like a steel bezel. This is a solid steel bezel. However, they give it a little bit of contrast. So you have black markings on the bezel itself, then you have a pip and then a triangle there. That's all filled in with black, so it gives it a little bit of contrast, but I really did think it was very, very good looking. You have a steel case, steel bracelet, and a steel bezel. Usually that's the reason why I'm on the fence about all steel, but kind of washes it out, I think, washes out the bezel. But in this case, I think it works really well because you get a very deep, dark black dial. Has a little bit of a sunburst effect. This is a gilt dial version, so you're getting a gold gilt minute track, and then you have gold hands. Even the second hand is in gold, and it's gold tone obviously, and then you get C3, so you're getting C3 in that pip, and then C3 on the dial for the indices, which are printed on, and then C3 on the hands. Also, as I mentioned, the indices, those are printed on the dial, so you have little triangles for all the primary indices, and then you have the 12, 9, 3, and 6. You have a very large automatic there, so sort of a vintage look to this, and then Hemel in that gold tone printed below the 12 o'clock index. So usually Hemel do a very good job with Lume. We'll do a Lume shot at the end of the video, check that out. But usually, like I said, very good job with Lume. Also, I believe the crown is Lume, so you have that H on there. It's very deeply etched in and then filled with white, so I think that is Lume as well. I assume that is C3 as well, so we will do a Lume shot at the end of the video. The case back is screwed in. You get a screwed in crown. This gets 300 meters of water resistance. It says Sea Dart HD3. That's the number for this watch, 9039. 9039 because you are getting a Miyota 9039 in here. Miyota 9039 is the dateless version of the 9000 series Miyota movement. A very good alternative to an ETA 2824. I love that movement. I specifically love the 9039 because it is dateless, and I really do not like a date, especially on a dial like this, because you have that 12, 9, 6, and 3. It really would ruin the balance on this dial. I'm not the type of person who even sets their date when they set their clock on set their watch. So that's the reason why I'm okay with that. I'm not sure if there are available versions with a date. And I will put a link to their website down below so you can check that out. You get screwed links in the Beads of Rice bracelet. So it's sort of a Beads of Rice bracelet. It's sort of a Jubilee also. I think it's a Beads of Rice. I'm not sure. It's shaped, the shape of the actual beads aren't really shaped like beads. It's shaped more like a Jubilee. but it looks like a beads of rice. So I guess you would call this a Jubilee. I'm not sure. And then it has male end links, so it will have a pretty big lug to lug because of that, but we will do measurements in just a second. And then the clasp. The clasp, I think, is the only thing that lets this watch down. You only have 3 positions of micro adjust. I'm not sure if they're changing this, but it is just a generic sort of micro brand buckle. It is signed Hemel right there. Of course, it's reliable and useful. I just like to see a little bit nicer of a buckle, especially with a little bit more micro adjust. That's really it. You don't get half links, so in order to get a really good fit, it would be nice to have a little bit more micro adjust. Really, that's about it. I believe this is around a 39 millimeter, so 40. It's a little bit over 40 millimeters, so 40.7 at the case, at the bezel. At the case, I think it's a little bit smaller than that. So if we measure the case itself, and I believe that's what I measured before, it is, yeah, 39.8. So at the case, it's 39.8. At the bezel, it's a little bit over 40 millimeters, almost 41 millimeters. 6.5 millimeters on that crown. Lug to lug at the lugs, we are talking about 47.1, and then at the male end links, if we catch just the end of that, it's 53.7. So it is a big lug span for a 40 some odd millimeter watch. So definitely something to keep in mind. Very slight taper on the bracelet, and obviously you get milled end links, and the buckle is milled as well, like I said, except the fact that it is a little bit generic. But very quickly, let's listen to the bezel action first, because the bezel action is actually very good on this watch. Then I will throw it on my wrist, and we will do a lume shot and talk about price. So the advantage to having a solid bezel is, of course, solid bezel action, because it is a solid piece of metal. Actually sounds really good, feels very, very solid. And then the chapter ring on this watch is just a solid piece of metal as well. So everything lines up, so the 12 o'clock and that bezel pip lines up really nicely. Very grippy crown, everything operates very smooth. I've grown to find that Hemel make very high quality products for a very good price. Now this is $499, not the cheapest dive watch that I have reviewed on the channel, so it is on the slightly more expensive side, featuring a 9039, a Miyota movement. However, I think that the craftsmanship here is really very, very good. The only thing that I said lets it down is this buckle. That's the only thing that I think could need some changing. The male end links, very hard not to do the male end link with this style bracelet, so kind of forgivable, but like I said, I'll throw it on my wrist so you can see what it looks like on my 7.5 inch wrist. Today I have another cool dive watch. This is the Bulova Millships limited edition with that weird 16 millimeter lug span on my 7.5 inch wrist. It's not fitted to my 7.5 inch wrist, but wow, it looks good. It just is a good looking watch. It wears basically the same as that 41 millimeter Bulova that I just had on, except it's thinner. Actually, I did not do the thickness, so I will do that in just a second. You do get a dome sapphire crystal that you can see looks pretty good on here. Again, giving it a little bit of a vintage vibe. But one thing to note, you can see the AR coating is really good on here, because in my studio lights, even though I have all my studio lights on, you're really not getting a ton of glare. Just a little bit right there, but it looks really good in most of this lighting here. So 12.6 millimeters, very, very good, automatic, dome sapphire crystal, 300 meters of water resistance, and I actually have a little bit of plastic on the back, so it might be a smidge thinner than that, but that's it. And I think I already mentioned it, but you do get screwed links on the bracelet. So very quickly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a lume shot. As I mentioned, Hemel do a really good job with lume, so let's check out the lume and then wrap up the video. All right, well, there you go. You can see everything is nicely lumed. You have that lume pip, 12 o'clock on the bezel. You have a lume crown, as I mentioned, that H lumed, very deeply filled with lume as well. The indices as well, filled with lume. Hands, very liberally applied with lume. Looks very good. The pip on the second hand also has a little bit of lume on there, so you can see that in the dial. Everything looks really good on this watch. It feels very solid in your hands, a very well made watch. The bezel action is excellent, as I mentioned, and all in all, I am impressed with this watch, and I really do like it. But tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog, all one word. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.